the exercise will be, you will be sent in breakout rooms for 2 after that I give the introduction, to kind of reflect upon the archetype where you think you are like now in your daily life. So orient yourself, and where maybe you're too active, maybe you're too passive, and yeah, to reflect upon. But we will come back on this. First, I will show you on a whiteboard what these active and passive poles of these archetypes are about. And as I did a lot of research myself, I also have like the feminine archetypes in the same way, in active and negative poles. I will talk you through this easier. So let me now open the whiteboard. Can you all see the whiteboard?
Yes. At least me, yes.
So, as you know, it is a side of a pyramid in general. And so you have a plus pole and you have a negative pole. So for instance, if this is the warrior, we will start with the warrior. If the warrior is too much of a warrior, what happens then is he will become a sadist. So that is the dark force of Star Wars, you know, that is Darth Vader, or how you pronounce his name. So that is really like he becomes, sorry, I put this in big.
Darth Vader.
Yeah, him. So he exaggerates actually his warrior, and it becomes for his own sake, and it's not anymore for the good of the community. So it's just for his own ego, narcissistic, whatever. If he has too little of the warrior energy, then he becomes the masochist. This is kind of the coward. He doesn't stand up for himself. Like he hates his daily job from 9 to 5, but goes there anyway, and he doesn't speak up. He doesn't change. Like he goes for the status quo, and he's not really like standing up in his warrior energy to make a stand for what he believes and he would like to have in this world.
Pretty much referring to our current situation.
It depends how you interpret your current situation, because you can either see it as the government telling you to stay home, or you can say like, I believe in self-isolation and I'm the warrior and I make sure
of course
that I don't infect others that are elder, or you know. So that's the nice thing of archetypes. It's more about the energy flowing to you rather than
sure.
You are in. So as I mentioned before, we both have the masculine and the feminine. You just need one of these pyramids in order for the other one to fall into place in the opposite way. There is a slight difference with the feminine one, and you will see the same difference always between a bit the masculine and the feminine ones. The masculine ones focus more on the observer, and it's more about freedom. So it's about the consciousness that we all are. So it's not a gender issue. We all are consciousness in this life, observing this life. And so we want to feel free of this circumstance that we are in. And the more feminine archetypes are more about the life force, are identifying with life itself, like it's all flowing, it's all love. So it will always be more about the fight for love in that sense, like the life force flow, life energy, rainbow. so, but again, it's not a gender issue, but I will also add that one there so that you can assess both in terms of where maybe you are. So it also obviously has a plus pole and a minus pole. And so for the feminine is the Amazon or the warrioress. I can never pronounce it, but warrioress. So is the feminine side of the warrior. And here, what is a bit the slight difference is when it's overactive, it will become the vigilant. What is difference between the warrior and the sadist? The sadist will become really like, all for me, you know, like yeah, Darth Vader, dark energy, really dark force. Whereas the vigilant actually will go too much into the cause. So this would be a feminine archetype that goes on the street to, or that goes protesting against things that actually don't make sense anymore, like little tiny things. So it's exaggerating this fight for love into the little tiny things, like yeah, literally starting big campaigns for something with relatively little impact for humanity, something like that. So it's also a warrior energy, but instead of doing it for self gratification or something, it is overdone in actually the good cause that is not a good cause anymore. I hope I explained that in a way you can understand. So, and then when this Amazon is done too little, then it is the victim. So that is not really fighting for love. That is not standing up and saying like, I will bring this love here in the world, you know? So then it's really, feeling victim of basically this for instance, this masculine energy. Yeah? So we all have both, as I said. And so the exercise would be to see, you can choose if you identify more with the feminine or with the masculine, you can choose a triangle. If you say I identify with both, choose whatever. But what is most important is to see where in your life are you playing out. We already had a nice, from Christine, an example. Where do you play out a passive pole or an active pole? And how can you change it? How can you take responsibility to really have this energy flowing, whatever your circumstance is, in the right way? Now, the warrior and the Amazon, it's, as we mentioned before, the gateway emotion is anger, and it is about I make a stand in the world. So it's I fight for freedom, I fight for love, you know. So it's really this fighting. Also, the warrior, if you have a verb associated, they often say is the to do. The warrior does. The warrior is the action guy or action woman, you know.